Welcome, friends of the Greasy Shop Rag. It's Friday night, working in my garage, working on the big Ultra, trying to fix a problem with my air ride suspension. So let's take a look at what I got going on here. So this is a 2015 Harley Ultra Limited. I added, about 4 years ago, I added a dirty air rear air ride suspension system from a company called Dirty Works LLC. It's a pretty neat kit, but it's a kit. You gotta put it all together and make it happen. So what we have here is an air compressor, and that air compressor feeds this manifold right here. Okay? Now, before today, it went from the compressor directly to the manifold, but I just added this water separator / air filter because I was finding rust in my up valve. Well, what's an up valve, you say? Well, here I got an example of one. Actually, the up valve lives right back. Oh, it's way back there. Right back. You're never going to see it. It's that piece right back there. That's on the back of this manifold right here. All right. Here's an example of one right here. It has a, electromagnet on top of a valve body. Let me see if I can get this apart one-handed here. Alright, so I dropped the electromagnet off of there, and I have the valve body. If I unscrew this, pieces hit the ground. So that's just the outer part of the valve body. Let me go find that piece that dropped right here. So this is the piece that slides inside that valve body. And if you look at the face of it, you'll see that it's got a ring around it. That ring is from the center of that body right there. So when you hit the switch, the solenoid or valve, whatever you want to call it, lifts the rubber piece off of that center piece, and then lets air flow. And that one back there is the up valve. So what we have is the compressor going through the filter and pressurizing this manifold. One of these lines runs all the way back to the tank. The tank's got a shut-off switch on it as well, or valve. So this manifold will always have tank pressure fed by the compressor. This is the switch, the pressure switch for the compressor right here. Now the shocks are on this manifold. So each of these two little lines right here runs to one of the shocks. This is the feed from this manifold, and it only feeds this when you hit the up valve, which is on the back of this manifold. Alright, and this valve is normally closed. So if you hit the up valve, pressurize this manifold, goes to the two shocks, the bike goes up. Now, on those two lines, I have a T on each one of them, to each shock. One of them goes off to a gauge, so I know how much pressure I have in the shocks, and it easily lets me set it to different pressures for different riding conditions, like if I'm by myself or with my wife. There's a T on the other line as well, and that goes to a dump valve. So I can open up the valve manually, dump all pressure off of the shocks, and just slam the bike to the ground. Kind of cool. So I've been having a problem with the bike always wanting to go up because this up valve had rust and dirt and whatever in it, and I never had this filter on there, and it didn't come with the kit. And the fact that it didn't come with the kit, Yeah, that's kind of bullshit. That should probably be part of it. I mean, without it, you can have dirt in the system, like I have, and it can be a pain in the ass. Now, I've always carried enough extra parts and tools to service that on the road, and I've had to do it a few times just to get home. But I'm trying to put an end to that right now. So let's go take a look on the other side of the bike. So over here, we have our pressure gauge. It tells me how much pressure is in the shocks. And down here is a little light. I added that light. It comes on when the compressor comes on, so I know when the compressor is running. Up here is the switch that activates the shocks up and down, or I should say the dump valves up and down. And then I also have the same switch right here. Boy, that's some awesome glare you're getting, isn't it? Now if you look behind that, there's another switch back there. And that switch is a manual dump valve that I was talking about. Now let's set you up back here. Give you a shot of the tailpipe. We'll get our handy dandy tape measure on there. 6 inches from the ground to the bottom of the pipe. If I flip that dump valve, which is the one I was just talking about, the bike will drop to the ground. When I want to raise it up, I'm going to turn the key on, and it might be a little noisy when the compressor kicks on. We're not going to run it for long. But I just wanted to prepare you for that. All right, then we're back up to, well, we're at 5 inches. I had emptied the tank earlier, so it was a little low, and we didn't get the full effect, but I think you get the general idea. So I just wanted to do one more thing, because I hadn't verified this yet. I just made some assumptions. But I assumed that I had left enough room to put this side cover on and not have any issues. So let's take a look and see how close I was. It's a little clumsy trying to do this one-handed. But there, the cover snapped in place. Now if I reach in underneath here, sure enough, that's going to work out pretty good. I can easily reach underneath there and bleed off any air or water that, well, I don't need to bleed off the air, but I can bleed off the water that might be collected in the filter. So really that's all I got for you tonight. I'm just messing around out in the garage. Really enjoying the new finished garage, so I can do projects like this and keep clean. Thanks for watching. Later.